presence. Thank you for your joy. Thank you for your love. Thank you, God, that you are King of kings and Lord of lords. You are sovereign God. You are our Savior, our deliverer. You are strength. God, you are mind regulated. When the enemy wanted to cause us to lose our mind, God, you stepped in and said, not so. Hallelujah. So God, we thank you for every person that's in the house of prayer this morning. Touch, deliver, set free. I pray that I decrease and you increase within me. That you would get the glory, you would get the honor and the praise. These things we pray in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. Put your hands together and give him praise. You may have your seat. I am honored to be behind this sacred pulpit on this morning on Mother's Day. Give your clap for your mama. Clap for your mama. Clap for your mama. Your grandmama, big mama, auntie, godmother, spiritual mother. Clap for your mama. My mother went on to be with the Lord back in 1994, and there are a whole lot of time I still say, I remember Mama said this. Right. Mama did this. Yep. And what's funny, I start to act like I'm okay. You know what? This is starting to act like my mama. But that's a good thing because she was a godly woman who taught us how to be holy. And thank God for this place. Thank God. Give out to God who's the head of my life, to my pastor Bishop Herbert Crump of Freedom Temple Ministries in Rock Hill, South Carolina. To my husband, Michael Lucky. Without his support and his love, I could not stand behind this pulpit. So I give him honor. To my children, to my father, Elder Edward Cook, who is my spiritual as well as my natural father. To my family, I want to give thanks to my friend, Pastor Setchik. We have went from being student and instructor, went to pastor and minister, and now just be friends. And I thank God for him. I really appreciate him that he allowed that. And you know, when I first talked to him, as he was saying, and he kind of messed me up before I got up here, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. He really did. But I thank God for him because not only is he a holy, righteous man, but he's been a friend. He's been a friend. We can just talk and laugh and joke and act a fool sometimes. But I appreciate him and his beautiful wife, the first lady of this house. Come on, just show some love for Lady Cheryl Maddock in her absence. Awesome woman of God. Thank God for their friendship. Thank God for, and I'm just anticipating the awesome work that he will continue to do, he and his wife continue to do in this, not only this area, but in this nation and internationally as well. Thank God for the ministers, for the ministers young, the ministers young, to my friends, to Sister Gail and her family, to all the saints of God. I ain't gonna be here long because it's supposed to be a heat wave. So I'm gonna give you what God said for me to give you, and I'm gonna get it out of your way. But I want you to turn to 2 Kings. 2 Kings, the 4th chapter, and I was debating, praying. Okay, God, what you want me to speak on? I don't know. Going back and forth, everybody speak on Mary and Hannah and Naomi and Eve and Ruth, and I was okay. I don't know people. And I had one that didn't work. Threw that one out. Guys, nope, threw that one out. So we're gonna talk about the Shunammite woman. We're gonna talk about the Shunammite woman, and I may be just as surprised as you are as I'm preaching this, okay? So turn to 2 Kings, the 4th chapter. We're going to start at the 32nd verse. 2 Kings 4:32. And the word of God says this. When Elijah, which was the prophet, came into the house, there was the child lying dead on his bed. He went in, therefore, shut the door behind the two of them and prayed to the Lord. And he went up and lay on the child and put his mouth on his mouth, his eyes on his eyes, and his hands on his hands. And he stretched himself out on the child, and the flesh of the child became warm. He returned and walked back and forth in the house, and again went up and stretched himself out on him. Then the child sneezed 7 times. Say 7 times. 7 times. And the child opened his eyes, and he called Gehazi and said, call this Shunammite woman. So he called her, and when he came into him, he said, pick up your son. So she went in, fell at his feet, bowed to the ground. Then she picked up her son and went out. And I was thinking about this morning, and the thought came to me is, don't mess with mama. Don't mess with, turn to somebody and say, don't mess with my mama. You may have your seat at the time. Don't mess with mama. One thing if you haven't learned in your lifetime is that you need to learn that you don't mess with a mama's baby boy. Now, don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that mothers don't love their daughter. They love their girl, but there's something unique and something kind of odd between a mama and her son. There's a special bond between that son and that mama. You talk about mama who would sumo wrestle a grizzly bear for her son. You don't mess with that boy. I'll give you a prime example. Several years ago, I was watching online, and there was an amateur boxing match between two young men. One of them was African American, and the other one was Hispanic. And as the fight was going on, the Hispanic guy was getting was actually beating the African American guy. He had him down. The rounds was going on, and he had him down, and he got him to the ropes, and he was doing jabs and looked like the brother was about to lose the match. Okay. All of a sudden, they looked around, and there comes a black older woman, jumped into the ring, swinging her purse, hitting the Hispanic boxer. This was the black man's mama. She decided she wasn't going to stand still and allow someone to beat up her child and she not do something. Her mama bear instincts kicked in. But the unfortunate part about it, that after the round, they kept referring to him as the mama boy boxer. But it didn't matter because mama decided, I've got to save my child. And see, this was the attitude of the Shunammite woman. She refused to stand by and watch her son die. She was not going to allow death to overtake and be the final decision for the life and existence of her child. She would have to do what she needed to do in order to save her son. Now that's a mama. That's a mama who don't care what happens to her. She gonna save her child. So for those of you who don't know the entire story of the Shunammite woman, I'll give you the Wikipedia version of the story. The prophet Elijah would pass through the town of Shunem as he traveled and ministered along. And he would often stay with the Shunammite woman and her family. And so the woman decided one day and asked her husband, would it be okay if we build a special room for the man of God. She knew he was a godly man. She knew he was a holy man, and she wanted to give back to him. So what he did, they built a room, and Elijah was grateful. He was ecstatic about what she did, and he asked her, well, what can I do for you, woman of God? She said, I'm good. I'm dwelling well within my family. I'm okay. But then his servant said, oh, her husband is old and she has no children.
Well,
let me just put a pin there.
yeah.
Do you have those friends who tell all your business? You didn't ask them now. They ask you, and then they're going to tell somebody else what about you. See, nobody asks the servant anything. But he decided to tell all. You got to be careful telling everybody all your business. Because look, he asked me if I needed anything. I said no. Ain't nobody asked you how old my husband was when we ain't had no kids. I've been trying to have kids. It's always those ones who tell everything.
My Lord.
That's a sad note. That's a sad note. That's a sad note. So he found that he had no children. So the man of God prophesied to her and said, this time this year, you're going to have a son. And guess what happened? That time, the next year, she had her son. Well, a few years later, the story goes that he was walking in the field with his father and began to have headaches and saying, my head. And what happened is that he fell out and he was collapsing. They took him to the mama. You know, whenever you sick, you always go to mama. I have grown children, and especially the baby girl, when she gets sick, she goes straight to me. I can't do nothing. It's just the comfort of the mama. And so they took him to the mama. He died, and she didn't understand. And so the Shunammite woman was not ready to say goodbye to her child. Despite what anyone said, she was determined to save her child. No devil in hell, no lack of money, no lack of education, no lack of resources, no lack of support for somebody else. We're going to stop this mama from saving her child. How many mamas do I have in the houses that's just like that? You're going to do what you got to do to save your child.
Yes.
If I got to wrestle a shark,
come on, girl. Yes.
If I got to go through a tornado, if I got to abandon other folks, you ain't taking what God gave me. You ain't going to take what God has blessed me with. Mama don't play. Father may say, we'll see. But mama ain't going to play. So this woman, this Shunammite woman, figured that since the man of God spoke life into her dead womb, he can speak life into her dead child. She figured he did it once, well, he can do it again. So what she did, so she went and she found the prophet. But what I thought about was interesting. When she found him, she flipped out on him. Isn't it word? Isn't it word? She told the servant that when he came to her, he asked, it's all well with you, it's all well with your husband, it's all well with your family. She said, yeah, all is well. Everything's good. But when she got to Elijah, the Bible said she went off. The paraphrase, she said, did I ask you for a son? Did I ask you? I could see her if she was black. My husband hates when I do this. When a black woman starts clapping her hands, you know you're in trouble. I can imagine her say, did I ask you for a son? Did I ask you to deceive me? So she was upset. She I didn't ask you for this. So Elijah figuring, before this woman totally flips out on me even more, I'm going to follow her back home. And so the Bible said that Elisha gathered himself and followed her back home. And so when he got to the house, he saw that the child prophet, the man of God, he laid on top of the child. And when I read this, it was interesting. The Bible said he laid his eyes, his mouth on his mouth, and stretched his arms. And that remind me of the cross. What was once dead, once the arms have been stretched, once have been laid out, new life come back again. So even in the Old Testament, there's a symbolism of the resurrection. So he laid on the child. The Bible said his body began to get warm. His body began to quiver. His body began to shake, and he sneezed 7 times. 7 is a number of completion. What he was going through is now ended. I breathe breath back into him. That's right. Woo! See, you got to understand the resurrection power of God was on full display. God breathed on this child, and life returned to his body. See, this is the same resurrection power, pastor, that was breathed on the dry bones in Ezekiel 37. The Bible said that he asked the prophet Ezekiel, man of God, can these bones live? And the Bible said that the wind came in, and there was a rattling, there was a shaking, there was movement, and the bones connected to each other. The muscle became life again. What was there was now alive again. Woo! Resurrection power. But then I thought about Jesus, who was dead from the cross. But on the 3rd day, he rose again with all power in his hand. The resurrection power quickened his mortal body. He became alive again. What was dead was now living. Woo! See, I want to help somebody tonight, and that same God can breathe into your dead situation. That same breath can breathe into your dead marriage. That same breath can breathe into your dead finances. That same breath can breathe into your dead business. That same breath can breathe into your dead emotions. That resurrection power has not ended. It's still here. All you need to say, breathe on me, God. Breathe on me, God. I need your breath. Breathe on me, God. My emotions are jacked up. My body's wrapped with pain. Breathe, Holy Spirit. Breathe on me, God. Woo! Let me say something. Some of us haven't felt the breath of God in a long time. You haven't felt God breathe on your neck. You haven't felt God breathe on you. But this morning, I need you to lift your hands up and say, breathe on me, God. Breathe on me, God. Breathe on me, God. I'm trying to get through this. But I like where I'm at now.
Yeah, go ahead, girl.
The breath of God brought back life into a dead situation. Brought back life into what the enemy thought he had. See, the enemy thought he had your body. The enemy thought he had your mind. The enemy thought he had your children. The enemy thought he had your ministry. But God said, I'm about to breathe breath into you again. You shall live. You shall live. Your children shall live. Your ministry shall live. Your life shall live. Breathe, God. Breathe, God. Breathe, God. Woo! I was told to do this. So, but I feel, and my father would say, I feel my help coming on. Feel my help coming on. So one thing, I'm about to wrap it up. One thing that the enemy, the evil one, has not learned in all his existence is that you don't mess with a praying mama. Ain't nothing like a praying mama. Who can pray you out some situation in the middle, not on their knees. Save my child, keep my child, bring them back, Lord. You promised me, God, that they will be saved, they will be holy. Woo! How many praying mamas do I have in the house? I'm talking about a mama who will pray until her knees are sore. I'm talking about a mama who will pray until her throat is aching. I'm talking about a mama who will fight a legion of demons and still come out victorious. I'm talking about a mama who's standing in a gap. I'm talking about a mama who look at that saying that I dare you to come here. I dare you to touch myself. I dare you to get in my house. I double dare you to try something. In the name of Jesus, I dare you. See, I had a mama like that. And I'm the mama like that. I'm going to pray on my kids. Whether they praying, I'm praying for them. And I dare every demon, I ain't scared of you. I ain't afraid of you. I'm ready for a fight. Come on, let's fight. I'm ready. You don't know who you're messing with. You don't know who you're messing with. I wish you would. And don't let the mama start sprinkling oil in the house. Anointing the beds, anointing the chairs, anointing the clothes, anointing the room, anointing the cars. Woo! I gotta get through with this, y'all. I gotta get through with this. But I'm gonna give you a few tips. I'm gonna give you my 3 points in the poem, and I'm gonna do what God told me to do. But I'm gonna let you know that 3 tips to let you know that you are dealing with a mama you don't want to mess with. The first thing you have to understand is that this type of woman won't let anything or anybody get in her way. How do I know this? When the Shunammite woman child died, she knew she had to get to the man of God. So she told her servant all the way back in verse 24, drive and go forward. Do not shake the pace for me until I tell you to stop. She was determined to drive over and through anything or anybody to get what she needed for her child. Mountains, valleys, floods, earthquakes, tsunamis will not stop a godly woman from getting to the God that she needs for herself and her family. See, so like I said, those are the ones that are praying all night when everyone is sleeping. Those are the mothers that remind God of the promise that God given them. Those are the mamas who believe that their child shall be saved. Those are the mamas that believe that they shall preach and decree the word of God. See, if you stand in her way, she ain't gonna stop for you. She ain't gonna slow down for you. If she gotta go through you to get to God, she'll go through you to get to God. So that's the first thing you need to know, that she's gonna do what she needs to do. But the second thing you have to understand when you're dealing with a mama you don't want to mess with, is that she has learned to prophesy over her children. Where are you getting this from? Lucky, I'm about to show you. See, you have to remember, this woman lost her only child. But when she was asked, is all well, she spoke. She said, no, it is well. It is well. Now, let me help you understand. She wasn't lying to the man of God. But what she was doing, she was calling those things which are not as though they were. Woo! See, she prophesied that her child will be well. See, a mother, a godly mother, will speak prophetically into her children. That child on drugs, she will prophesy that they will own their own business. That child in prison, she will prophesy they will graduate from college. That child who is sick in the hospital, she will prophesy that they will travel the world, declare the word of God. That child that's lost, she will prophesy that they will walk through that door. That child that is sick, God, you shall raise them up. Learn how to prophesy over your children. Speak life. Speak life, not death. And the third and last thing, I'm just about through. I don't want to worry your nerve, but the third thing you need to learn about this kind of mother, that you will always find her on her knees. She will always be on her knees. She got much. This Shulamite woman, she was grateful for what God had given her. She praised the living God for the life that was given to her. This woman wasn't ashamed to worship God. She always found time to thank God. She gave God all that she had. The more she stayed on her knees, the more powerful she became. See, this is a woman, a mother that Satan don't want to fool with, because she understood the word and said, great is he that is in me than he that is in the world. And I'm encouraging mother, don't back up off of your children. Don't back up from your family. You pray, prophesy, speak life into your family. Speak life into your children. You don't know what God has planned. You don't know what God has for your child. But if you stop praying, you stop prophesying, you stop laying hands, then the enemy has the avenue to get to your child. But I ain't going to stop praying. I tell him that God, take my last breath. I'm praying on my children. I'm praying on my husband. I'm praying on my family. I'm going to keep on praying, because say you don't know who you're messing with. All right. Life. Life. You don't mess with a praying mama. You don't mess with a godly mama. If you could talk to them and see what they've been through, say, baby, if I could tell my story. See, that's why the church need real church mothers.
Yeah, that's right, real mom.
The church mother that would sit on the second row in all white.
Yes, you do. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
They didn't say much, but they would sit there praying. And in their spirit, they said, I wish Satan would come in. I wish Satan would try to do something. I wish Satan would try to cause an uproar. I wish he would. I haven't had a good fight in a while. I need a good fight. I need to remember how to fight. We need those mothers. Where are the praying mothers in the house? Where are the praying mothers in the house? We need some praying mothers in the house. I need everybody to stand. Ooh. I asked the pastor if I could just flow, and I was going to do what God told me to do. Thank God for mothers. Like I said, my mom been gone for 24 years in August. But her teachings will last forever.
Amen.
There's nothing like a mama. I love my daddy. Don't get me wrong. I do. There ain't nothing like mama. I love my daddy. I do. I do. He has taught me how to be a woman of God. He taught me how to be pretty. I love him. But there's nothing like mama.
Right.
You know, that song, Mama, you know I love you.
Yes.
Mama, I love you. I thank you for the prayers. And I thank God for the Shunammite woman that was determined to say, I need the breath of God to fall on my child. And as I was studying this, the Lord kept going back and forth that my children need to feel me breathe on them one more time. Some of you here, speaking prophetically, some of you here have not felt, you may have heard God, but you have felt Him. Remember in Genesis, the Bible says, when God breathed on man, he became a what? A living soul. Too many of us in the church are like the dry bones in the valley. We go through the motion. We do. We come to church, we lift our hands, and we sing a song, we clap, we give our offering, we go home. But we ain't trying to elevate no more than where we are right here. We ain't trying to. And then some of us have gotten discouraged. I tried God. It ain't worked. God said, no, I'm going to breathe on you one more time. Whoa, 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 I'm going to breathe on you one more time. Live, son. Live, daughter. I need you to live.